Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to day 10 of our Bible study. In today's Bible study, we'll be studying Isaiah chapter 21 and 22. And if we go on to look at this chapter, if we go on to study these chapters, we would see that the Lord is still in the business of punishing the offenders, the enemies, and all those people who are rebellious against Him. Because in chapter 21 and 22, we see that the Lord gives Isaiah a vision about the fall of Babylon, the fall of Babylon. And the reason for this fall is because of their rebellion, of course, and the fact that instead of them worshiping God, instead of them serving and honoring God, they prefer to rely on their handmade gods. And the Lord is sending this vision. The Lord has shown Isaiah this vision, and he says that the fall of Babylon is coming very, very soon. And when that time comes, when they are helpless, when all the soldiers and the armies from foreign land, from Medes and all those other foreign lands would come up against the people of Babylon, there will be no one to help them, because even then, their handmade gods, their goddess of Asherah and all those gods that they serve, would not be able to save them. The Lord goes on to give Elijah a message also about the destruction and the punishment he wants to mete out on the people of Edom and the people of Arabia. Yes, also for their rebellion and for their disrespect towards him, because there was something common among all these people at that time. They knew about God. Yes, they knew that the Almighty God, the Yahweh, is the only true God, but they chose to worship other gods. They chose to use their hands and mold their own gods and worship. And they are aware that the God of the Israelites is the one and only true God. But they chose to be disobedient, to disregard him. And he's coming down on them with full force. There will be no hiding place, there will be no running place for them. And the vision that Isaiah saw is that this punishment, this attacks is going to come suddenly. It's going to come quick, that they won't even be prepared for it. So there will be no hiding place or any place of escape for them. In chapter 22, we see that the Lord gives Isaiah a message about the people of Jerusalem. Mind you, the people of Jerusalem are God's beloved. They are parts of the tribe of Judah. So they are God's beloved. But as we've been seeing from the earlier chapters, also God's beloved at some point in time, they were rebellious. They were distracted and confused by their neighboring nations. And then they started to sin against God. So no sin will go unpunished in God's sight. Even if you are his beloved, he will still punish you, give you a corrective punishment. But if you turn back, he forgives you and accepts you back. So here we see that the Lord gives Isaiah this message about the people of Jerusalem. Now, what we see here is that Jerusalem have suffered a great fall and a great defeat. Their soldiers and their armies, they were not even killed during fighting, they were captured and they were killed. So, it is one thing, it is a thing of pride for a soldier to be killed in the war front. It will be like, oh, he died in active service, he died fighting a good cause. But it will be a thing of shame for an army, for a soldier that went to fight, to not even reach the battlefront. And then the enemy will come and capture them, torment them, make mess of them. It's actually a thing of shame. It's better for you to die while fighting than for you to be killed, to be tormented, to be humiliated. So the people of Jerusalem, their soldiers, were humiliated, were tormented, and so many things are happening. They have famines, their walls have been broken down. But rather than them to be in a pensive mood, rather than them to be contrite and to be sober, they still kept on rejoicing. They still kept on throwing banquets. As we see in chapter 22, verse 1, what is happening? Why are all the people of the city celebrating on the rooftop of the houses? The whole city is in an uproar, filled with noise and excitement. Your men who died in the war did not die fighting. All your leaders ran away and were captured before they shot a single arrow. So yeah, it is actually expected that they would be in a mourning mood. They would be calm, they would be sober. And their city was supposed to be very calm and going through a reflective period to reflect on what have we done wrong. Why is this so much sin? Why is this so much humiliation? Why is there so much punishment falling on us? But they were like, oh, we don't care. Okay, those that have died, they died, we are still alive. So the lackadaisical attitude and the I don't care nature that they had towards the happenings around them is the same attitude that they had towards God. So for this, God was very angry. God was very angry, because we see in verse 12 of chapter 22 that the sovereign Lord Almighty was calling you then to weep and mourn, to shave your heads and wear sackcloth. Instead, you laughed and celebrated. You killed sheep and cattle to eat, and you drank wine. You said, we might as well eat and drink. Tomorrow we'll be dead. So they were like, it's better we make merry today. We enjoy ourselves. We throw our feast, because who knows, tomorrow we might be dead like these same people. And that act of them annoyed God, because He expects us. You know, we read yesterday about the people of Egypt. Yes, some people of Egypt, that God sent punishment to them. God was going to dry up their river Nile and sent so much punishment to them. But what did they do? They acknowledged the presence of God and they started to worship God. They asked for forgiveness and they turned to God. And what did God? God forgave them. He took away the punishment that He had let out on them. And they were fine. They were fine. They started to worship God, and God in turn took care of them. But this is not the case that we see with the people of Jerusalem in chapter 22 of Isaiah. Yeah, we see that, oh, even though that this punishment, their walls have been broken down, but instead they decided to do it by themselves. They'll go and look for houses that are badly, that have gone beyond repair. And then they'll break down these houses, take the stones there, and go and rebuild their walls. They'll be like, it has spoiled now. What can we do? It's not supposed to be crying and all these things. We just need action. So they were taking it into their hands. They felt like they were powerful. They had everything they needed. So even though there was war, even though there was famine, they were digging reservoir to store water. So they were just like ahead, if we should follow here, we are going to follow here. So the Lord was very angry with them that even though I'm sending all these things, I expected you to be remorseful, to be sober, and to turn back to me, show a contrite and repentant heart. But instead, what did you do? You were all over the place, rejoicing, jubilating, you were laughing, as if it doesn't matter, as if you have no reverence for me. So this is the message that God revealed to Isaiah about the people of Jerusalem. And it actually rings home because it got me thinking that whenever we are faced with maybe trials, tribulations, whenever we are faced with delays in our lives, with something that we feel like, oh, something is not going on well, instead of us to even start to delve more and more into sin, start to delve more and more and to be carried away in the temptation, that is a good time for us to turn back to God. I know that you shouldn't wait until you are faced with trials and tribulation to worship God, but it will be much more stupid. Yes, I repeat, it will be much more stupid for you to continue in sin when it is so apparent that God is punishing you because of this, or that God is calling you back. So you've been sinning, and then God suddenly decides to, take away something from you, to punish you, to give you a corrective punishment. It is only wise for you to acknowledge the presence of God, acknowledge and go and fall back. Instead of asking, why did you do this? Why did you do this? I thought you are my God. I thought, no. It is a good time for us to be reflective of our lives and how we have been acting, and turn back to God. And if there are any ways, any areas we need to make amends, we need to, confess and make it up with God, that would be a better and the best time for it, instead of being all self-righteous and having that I don't care nature like the people of Jerusalem in this chapter. Still on chapter 22, in verse 12, we see that the Lord sent Isaiah with a warning message to Shebna. Shebna was the manager in charge of the royal household at that time, and his position is one that comes with lots of prestige, respect, lots of wealth and all those things. So he was in charge of the royal household, and as such he had access, unlimited access to some things in the royal household. So because of this, he became proud. He became all over that, oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm big, and nobody can bring me down. And we see that he had even gone ahead of himself to carve out a tomb for himself out of the rocky side, like in a very important spot. So he's still alive. It's just like a rich man now. And then he will call on people, see, I want you to carve out a tomb, a burial tomb made with gold for me, so that when I die, I will be buried there. So somebody that is going ahead of his God. So he feels that it's very, very important. It's very, very important and influential. Now, the message of God comes to him at this time that, see, you may feel that you're important, but I, the Lord, will bring you down. I will bring you very, very low. And one of the things that we have discovered in our previous studies, in the earliest chapters of Isaiah, is that the Lord despises the proud. The Lord does not like those that are proud, because everything that we have and are comes from God. So it is only right, it is only wise for us to always acknowledge him in everything. It is wise for us to always feel his presence, to acknowledge his presence, to prioritize him in everything, and not let anything that we have, that anything that we've achieved, get into our heads, that will start to feel like, oh, we are the Almighty, we can do without others, we can do without God. So this is the message that the Lord is sending to Shebna at this time. The Lord is telling him that I'm going to remove you from your office and I'm going to replace you with another. Yes. Because in chapter 22, verse 20, we see that the Lord said to Shebna that I am going to take my servant Eliakim, son of Hilkiah, and I will put your official robe. So I'm going to derobe you, I'm going to dethrone you, I will take your position, and I will give it to my servant Eliakim. So I will put your official robe and belt on him, and give him all your authority that you have had. It will be like a father to the people of Jerusalem and Judah. I will give him complete authority under the king, the descendants of David. We have the keys of office. What he opens, no one can shut, and what he shuts, no one can open. So I think here now the Lord gives us a glimpse of the kind of authority, of the kind of power Shebna once had. Like he was the second in command to the king. Like literally, he had the right to open up the door to anyone to enter and to tell anyone, go back. The royal house does not want you here. So the Lord is giving that position and he is taking away his glory because of his stupidity and his carelessness. Pride. He allowed pride to lead him of that position because of his stupidity and his carelessness. The Lord is taking the position, the Lord is taking his glory and is bestowing it on another man. Now, giving that man so much power, so much authority. This message is really timely. We need to reflect on this in our lives. Where is that position that God has placed you in? Is it in your church? Is it at work? Is it in your family? Is it in that organization? And you're beginning to let it get into your head. Don't forget that nothing is permanent except the Lord says so. Yes, the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth, the creator of all that lives, the source of our being, the essence of our being, the reason why we exist. He is the only one that has the right, that has the power to make a thing permanent. If you've been placed in charge of anything and you're beginning to let it get into you, I want this to serve as a reminder to you. Come back, come back, come back. Do not anger the Lord, because the Lord is greatly angered by pride. He's greatly angered by pride. When you feel like, oh, I achieved this myself, I'm already there, I'm already at that point in time. The Lord is the one that makes a man king, and that same God can dethrone a man. And in your place, he would bring in the least person, the least person, and make him king. The least person and make him king. So don't lose your glory. Don't lose your throne because of your mistake, because of your pride. Be very careful. Guard your actions. Guard yourself. Ask the Lord to constantly draw you back. Ask the Lord to constantly be with you, because we are humans. Yes, quite all right. There are sometimes that these things, that this influence, that this office might want to get into your head and you start to act in ways that you're not supposed to act in. So, but that's why we have the Spirit of God. Call on Him, tell Him to help you, to control you, to give you self-control, so that you don't lose yourself and let the pride, get into you. Because pride can make a king to be a slave, and humility can make a slave to be a king. Remember, Jesus Christ also said that in his parable, that for everyone who humbles himself, he will be lifted up, he will be elevated. While for anyone who comes and assumes the highest position, he will be humiliated and brought down to the lowest level. So I leave this message for us today. I leave this message for us today. Reflect in your life. Is there any area that you feel like you've been going overboard, that you've been refusing to acknowledge the hands and the presence of God? Everything you have, know ye today that the Lord gave to you. You couldn't have achieved anything without the hand of the Lord involved in it. In fact, the life that you have, for you to be able to achieve that, is in the hands of God. And don't lose your glory. Don't lose your throne. Don't lose your royal robe because of pride. So I leave this message with you this Sunday. And I hope that this message would bear fruit in your life, that this message will be taken seriously by you, and that you will come to acknowledge God and to prioritize God and to return all the thanks and honor to God rather than keeping them to yourselves, because He's the one that gave you that honor. And it wouldn't take him anything to take away that honor. Now, I wouldn't want to lose my honor because of pride. I wouldn't want to lose my glory because of pride. And I wouldn't want the same for you too. So this message is coming to us at a very timely time. Consider this, reflect on this, and ask the Holy Spirit to always guide and put you through at every point in time. Thank you for watching up to this moment. Please let me know what you think about today's message in the comment section. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please do well to subscribe to this YouTube channel and give this video a like, a thumbs up. Tomorrow's Bible study will be on Isaiah chapter 23 and chapter 24, and I would like to see you, because the Lord always has something good for us. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in tomorrow's Bible study. Bye.